Starting the Human Services Commission meeting for Monday, May 6th. And just checking to see if there's any public comment.
No, there has been none.
Okay. Any addition to the agenda?
No, there's none.
I just have one question. I don't know if we need to add this or we can talk about it. If there are questions about the ads or the silent auction or anything that has to do with Living Treasure.
In my report is Living Treasure,
Then
so
what
we'll
we can-
go over it then.
Okay.
That's my plan anyway.
Perfect. So I hope everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes. Are there any corrections? Any additions? Okay. Need a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Pat? And a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jen. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Aye.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Who's on the phone?
Erin.
Okay, so now on to FY25 operating capital budgets.
Great. So, thank you. A very big thank you to those who attended the preliminary budget hearing. Not a peep about our budget from any resident or anyone who had a concern or a compliment, because sometimes you get those too. But we are doing well. So we can still have things change between the preliminary budget hearing and the annual town meeting. There's another opportunity for people to speak and attend. That meeting is May 20th at 7:30 at the cafeteria at the high school. So if any of you would like to attend, we sure would welcome your attendance and support. And that's really about all I have for budget. We'll hope we don't have to start this project again until October. It's a long process and hope it winds down in this month. Oh my God. Okay, on the 20th.
Right, on the 20th.
Thanks, that's all I have on that. Any questions?
Okay. I guess I do have one question. Jeanette, remind me at the annual town meeting, there's a certain number?
250 residents, not, it has to be residents, it can't just be seats filled.
Okay.
And if that quorum is met, then there's a vote. If the quorum is not met, then simply there are comments taken into consideration, everybody speaks, and then the Board of Finance meets and sets the budget.
Okay.
I've been to enough.
Yes, no, just make sure I was clear on that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And on to youth services, Nancy.
So, after school guided study program is going well. We should be finishing up next week. And we have a pizza party planned for one of the last days for the kids on Monday, actually. So I'll be ordering some pizza and some juice boxes and some cookies. It should be. Kids are always very appreciative, and the teachers are as well. It's been a long haul. Spring paint party, we had 6 students paint some beautiful scenes, and we only had 6 there, but honestly, when you see what these kids produce, it's so wonderful, and I just love that there are kids who still, just like to produce some art, and they chat, they eat snacks, they, kind of laugh about each other's and tease, but it's just a really sweet program. I love it. I think getting into the spring, things get a little bit busier, harder to get kids to come to things. So we have a spring festival coming up this Friday at the middle school. We had planned to be outdoors, and I just saw the weather report, and they're talking about rain, so I'm hoping, let's pray it goes away, because it's really so much more fun behind the school outside. It's just a great time. We have Big Daddy's bringing this racetrack, and so it's remote control, cars, plus there's another game called Crazy Cones that kids play, so that'll be fun. And we'll have a DJ and ordered some pizza, so it should be fun. We'll have some raffle prizes. Jamie Joy reached out to a lot of places for raffle prizes, so we hope we get a few fun ones for summer. Eighth grade graduation party's coming up, so we don't run it, but we do help sponsor it. So we give some money to the PTO, and they will be running it. That'll be June 12th, so it's actually after the last day of school. It's the Wednesday after. It's going to be at the Aria in Prospect, and so Jamie, Joy, and I will probably work that as well. Yearbook signing ice cream social. I brought it up at the PTO meeting because I hadn't really heard a request. Usually we provide ice cream for that. And the PTO usually, goes and helps hand it out. And they said if the yearbooks come in time, because last year there was a problem, they had planned it and they had to keep pushing it back because the yearbooks weren't there on time. So if they come in time, they'll put it together quickly and then we can provide the ice cream for the kids to be outside. It's really kind of nice. Last day of school is a kickball tournament. I can't make it because I'll be out of town that day, but Jamie Joy is going to go up and we provide some, snacks and popsicles and water for the kids, which is really fun. So I think Jeanette probably has this in her report too. Family game night. We had about 26 people there that night, and shared it with the Rotary. They brought the pizza and raffle prizes, and we provided cookies, cupcakes, and the drinks for everyone. But it was really nice, and the little kids really enjoyed playing. Like we had a little bowling thing set up, and then we had a little golf thing, so the little kids had some things to do, and then we had different, games for different ages, and one dad was teaching his son how to play chess, and he was so excited because he came over and he said, he won, then they each got like a raffle ticket and some kind of candy bar or whatever. So it was cute. It was really fun to see it. Parents kept coming over saying how much they appreciated it and that they think we should do it more often, and that's what we decided to do. So
it was 8 families. It was 26 people, but it was 8 families, and we
perfect.
each person each adult really did express that if this was done more often, they would come. There was something else competing at Beecher that night, and they said they would, more people would have come, and frankly, I don't think I want more people. I think it was so great. Maybe you could add 10. You could add 10. You could go to 35 or so, depending on the age groups. But it was so nice to have, that group in, and the parents loved it. So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Was it in this
No,
space?
I'm glad.
In this space, yeah. In
Yeah,
fact,
right out
the
here.
elevator hallway was
Perfect.
the bowling alley.
And what was nice is, we had a lot of young families, and then we had some with like young teens. But such a nice way to introduce people to the center and the renovation, because so many people haven't seen it yet. And I think it's really nice that they came in. Several people were like, oh, this is really nice. Nice to see. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a great night.
There was one family
future
with
seniors.
English as a second language, and I came over because 3 kids, the eldest was 9, who spoke English beautifully. The other 2 were a little younger, were working on it, Mom was working on it. She had the directions to Trouble, the game Trouble, up in her language, and I was like, that's so cool. Here, this is how you play. And I just did it for them, and they just, everybody had a really great time.
Google Translate is the best,
Yeah.
honestly.
It was something really heartwarming.
It
No
was.
phones.
It was really fun.
Just kids and parents playing and really relating and having a good time.
A couple younger ones, saw each other.
Yeah, families
Families
being
running
each
around
other.
together. It was cute. It was really fun to watch too.
Yeah.
So we reached out to the Rotary and suggested that we'd like to do it again. What date do we
June
have?
13th.
June 13th, sorry, I'm missing it here. There it is. So we'll plan another one, and what we decided, because $10 really doesn't cover, pizza if you have several people in a family. So what we'll do is we'll charge $10 for the family up to 4 people, and then $5 per person in addition to that.
And
the Rotary-
$5 for seniors if they come.
and $5 for seniors, yes. Well, they had a game night the other night, which you'll talk about the other afternoon, and
What time do you do
we
that,
just let
since it's
seniors
like
would be
after school ends?
so it will be, it will start at 5:30 and go to 7:30 that night. So, but, you know, I was concerned that maybe it was a little early, but if people don't have to cook, I mean, that's what
Right.
people were saying, like, $10 to feed my family, I don't have to cook.
Right.
And it was hump day, it was
Right.
Wednesday, who wants to cook on Wednesday? So it worked out really well, you know, so we were kind of, you know, we wanted to see how it went, I think, we weren't quite sure,
And-
but.
Yeah, no, it was a really great program, and
Yeah.
the Rotary's sponsoring the pizza. So it isn't, you know, I gave them the take at the door, so $80 came in, we gave them $80 to defray the cost of the pizza, and they're happy to do it again with lots of exclamation points.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Well, I remember last month, what didn't sound like it was sure to go, that you didn't have
We
quite
didn't
enough
have,
people.
we're a last
So-
minute tell when it comes to signups, we
And
really
to tell you the
are.
truth, 2 families didn't show up that RSVP'd, but we had walk-ins.
Mm.
And we're able to accommodate them, so that was great. In fact, some of the older kids hadn't come. One family did call and say somebody was sick. But it was good to
enough.
have
It
little
was
kids.
nice. I know.
That's good.
And, kind of, so we put Twister out, but it's just kind of fun to see different age groups do different games. And see parents engaged with their kids, you know, without the screen, that's what I like the best, honestly. So Red Cross babysitting, we had 10 students complete the 2-day training, it was 2 mornings, April 16th and 18th. At the library. Library's just a nice space for it, it truly is, you know. So we provided snacks. It's just such a great program. Anna Moss has been teaching it forever, longer than I've been here, I think. But kids really appreciate it, and usually their responses on the surveys are you know, really positive. Earth Day, we put games out. We loaned our, you know, cornhole, because Anthony Taddy set up cornhole and we ran like a little tournament outside. So we had some games out for the kids. I had a couple kids from the high school come and help, you know, just with the setup and monitoring the games, played with the kids a little bit, played with the teenagers who came by, whatever. And we put out information and some tchotchkes for people to take. So it was a nice day. It was really, it was a huge undertaking for people, that's for sure. So I've got to give credit because it worked out. That was a nice thing too.
Was it well attended?
Yes.
It was.
The library
It
clocked
was.
700 people coming in that day.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Awesome. Really nice to see young people singing.
That was a good percentage of town.
Yeah.
It really was. It was good to
So
bring in
much to
people
do. So much to do.
now taking care of
Yeah,
our
it
earth.
was really
right?
fun.
Bodak update. So Bodak did provide signs for the Drug Take Back Day, which was also on Earth Day at the police department. How many pounds did you say? 800 pounds?
180.
Oh, 180, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I put,
It would be a lot.
180.
That's
That
a
would've
lot.
been a lot.
That's a lot of drugs.
that would have, I was gonna say, that's more than Orange took, and I know they made a big deal on Orange about it, sorry about that. Nix that 800, all right. 180, 50 years, Jack.
It's fine.
But good to get those
There was
things
an
out of
8 there.
cabinets and drop it off. And they do
And-
take vape, you know, devices too, as long as you take out the batteries, just.
And according to Anthony Capiello, AJ Capiello, he took in even a bunch more on Monday after. And I have this feeling that Earth Day just got so many people to know about it, which is a great thing. And then it also had in the language that it's 365 days a year, 24/7, that you can have access. So good that people know about this now. Earth Day did a lot for us, even more than the day.
Yeah, truly. Home Alone class, I'm running a Home Alone class on 2 days, May 28th and 30th. So it will be, you know, after school, so it'll be from 4 to 5:15. Do that at the library again, and cost is $15 for residents, $20 for non-residents. Really not a bad price considering we provide 2 classes and the snacks. And Officer Frank Sapione said he plans to be there. Like, he comes in and, you know, someone in uniform, kids always pay attention. But he, you know, I usually have him talk about emergencies, what to do, what actually happens when you call 911, what do you say? And then we talk about, you know, internet safety, we talk about nutritious snacks, just all kinds of things. And it's just there's a lot of conversation typically, lots and lots of questions. And we talk about gaming online and, you know, what you should and shouldn't say with strangers. And they're always kind of surprised to think that maybe you can't trust everybody who tells you they're, you know, 13 years old. Data reporting for the grant. So we are reporting quarterly now for the grant instead of once a year, which hopefully will make my vacation a little nicer this year. I've just reported for the third quarter, and that was due on April 26th. And that's just data for programming. The end of year is when we do the financial part as well. But it seems to be going well. They said they downloaded, and most youth services, which is unusual, most youth services did have it in on time, and they didn't seem to have much issue with, you know, just downloading everybody's information. So it seems to be going well. And they didn't give us a date yet when everything is due in the summer. So we shall see.
Who's collecting it?
So DCF, the Department of Children and Families, collects, they actually administer the grant. So it's a state grant, and the amount each year, it really depends on how many youth services departments apply. There's, I think, 101, it might have gone down to 99 last year, so we're in that range. So there's two grants we get. We get one, which is our base grant, and then we get an enhancement grant. The enhancement grant is used for the after-school guided study program.
Got it.
For Selectmen's Youth Awards, so we do have a winner. The Youth Advisory Board went through 4 fabulous nominations, in my opinion, they all deserved. And so Sophie Nugent is the winner this year. She was chosen from these 4, and she will receive her gift and state citation at the Volunteer Appreciation Celebration, which is May 15th. And Mika will present her gift, and then Dwight Rowland will present a check for $200 to her. Also that day from the Bethwood Baseball League. So it's really nice to, you know, and each nominee receives a certificate of appreciation, and they're each invited to attend that day as well. That's all I have. And I'll start making some plans probably for summer. Usually we try to do a program in the summer, 1 or 2 with the rec department, so I'll be in touch with them soon to see if we want to do something together.
Okay, busy
Well
start to
done.
spring, yes. Any questions?
Oh, and Job Bank. Job Bank, I didn't put anything down, but Job Bank is just starting to pick up a little bit again because they really want to get our kids working. And getting some more phone calls for that spring cleanup and weeding.
And you have
which they
kids?
love. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
use some more.
Okay.
Always advertising to get more, but
Right. I know it's a struggle.
I know. I keep telling kids, if you don't know how to weed, Google it. Google everything else. Google it.
Yeah.
You don't even need mom to show you anymore, or dad.
Get one of Dad's screwdrivers.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you,
need is
Nancy.
you know.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the youth
I'll make a
services?
motion to accept.
Thank you, Vivian.
Second.
Okay, Pat. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So pass.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the next is the Woodbridge Center, Christie.
So on April 4th, the Yale New Haven Health Stamp Out Stroke team gave a presentation at our Lunch and Learn, and there were 40 people that came to that, which is a great number. Lunch was provided by Coachman Square. And on April 15th, we started our session of Tai Chi and Qigong. And there were 22 people that signed up for that, so we wound up splitting it into 2 groups since it was such a good pre-registration turnout. On April 18th, Hampton Rehab gave a decoupage workshop to 14 people, and they made a spring decoupage plaque that was really nice. And when they have those craft workshops, it's just really nice. Everybody socializes and talks, and it's just a really good time. People really enjoy it. It's not so much about the craft, but just about doing it together. And then on April 25th, we had our Spring Fling Luncheon. We had 65 people come to that. And Carmine's De Vega was just really awesome to work with. They helped us come up with a great menu that was very reasonably priced. They gave us a really good discount. And their food was delicious, of course. And everyone had a really good time with the music. And we were fortunate to have Kathy and Tim Austin help and
It was fun.
volunteer to serve the food.
And the food, and we got to eat the food, it was very good.
It's a good deal.
That's a plus.
And then Kelsey Lang from Elam Park also helped us serve the food and check the out. And Elam Park also sponsored the event. So between Carmine's discount and Elam Park sponsoring, and we just bumped the price up a little bit to $6 and $7, $1 more for each for the lunch. It covered the cost of the lunch from Carmine's.
That's great.
Yeah, so we can keep going forward with adjusting it for the transition to the new in-person lunches. On April 29th, we had 16 people attend the Smithsonian National Museum of Art virtual tour. And everybody enjoyed that. They went through and they did a lot of different art and sculptures about that had to do with cherry blossoms, but there was a history to it. So everybody really enjoyed that and getting the educational experience from that. Katie had found at a Asian market, I guess in Milford, mochi, the ice cream, and then there's also a mochi kind of snack that went along with it, and lychee candies, so we had the Japanese theme going on. 25 people had signed up for it, even though 16 people came, so Katie started through Schedule Plus, our software system. She implemented a reminder that'll be sent out weekly to people, so if anybody signs up, they'll just get a weekly reminder to try to help people remember to come to the programs they sign up for. And on May 1st, we had our game day, which was, it was the 5th and 6th grade students from Beecher Road. The student council planned it, decided to have a game day, brought the games, and there was about 25, 26 students that came, and it was a really awesome event. Our members that came and participated, just the ones that were hesitant to come and maybe were encouraged by a spouse or a friend to come, even though they maybe didn't want to, really enjoyed it and were really happy that they came. And they used both rooms, and it was a very uplifting event. There was pizza afterwards that we provided with dessert, and the first selectman Mika came over, and which was a great experience for the kids. He went to each table and just spoke to each, all the students and our members that were there on an individual level, and so it was just added to the experience. It was a really great day. This Thursday we're having our Mother's Day luncheon, and Carmine's worked with us again to have a good lunch for that, and we'll have music that's provided by Brian Gilly and Charter Senior Living, who used to be the Linden. They had a name change.
Again.
And a little more change. Is sponsoring the lunch to help defray the cost. And then on May 13th, students from Amity are going to come over and present a class on like an iPhone tutorial to learn more about the iPhone and to be able to use it more effectively. There's a group called the Elders Helpers at Amity, and they put together a PowerPoint presentation, looks to be really good, and then they're going to come over, present it to whoever's interested, and then they're going to individually help people afterwards, so break off and do one-on-one help afterwards. And then there's 3 of the students from the Elder Helpers group are part of our tech help. They've come over and done the tech help with the seniors over the past year also. And on May 16th, Hamden Rehab is having a workshop on how to make jewelry out of paper beads. So for how to make paper bead jewelry. So it kind of goes with the earth theme, accepting it. And on May 23rd, we're collaborating with the library to have a lunch and learn on financial fraud. That will be given by the Connecticut Department of Banking, and they'll cover an array of consumer protection issues. And then there'll be a bingo game afterwards to reinforce the learning. And the lunch will be sponsored by Coachman for that also. And then on May 30th, we have a really good trip planned to the Florence Griswold Museum. And afterwards there'll be lunch at Cafe Flow. And then as part of this trip, there'll be a 1-hour guided tour. And then they'll have lunch at Cafe Flow, and then they can just go around and explore the grounds on their own. And this month's art exhibit is by the Center's Painting for Pleasure class, so it's really great work. And so when you go out, if you take a look, it's very impressive.
Especially the small paintings of birds, you're gonna really love those. They're past.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I called him out on it. No, we need to check it out.
They are
They're
Commenting.
They're really beautiful.
They are.
My grandchildren love them, but they're under 6, so they're not so discriminating.
Well, people walking by have been complimented.
They tell
It's
you
not just
honestly.
6-year-olds.
Right.
Oh, my.
And then for the lunch and the meal delivery update, the in-person lunches are going really well. Hasn't been a decrease noted in attendance. One person actually said that they were happy that the pricing of our vendor was increased because the food's better now. So Jake's happy about the transition. And then in my written report, I put some stats just for the quarter summaries. So if you look, quarter 1 was 562 in-person lunches, quarter 2 was 539, 3 was 580. So it's actually gone up. Quarter 3 was January, February, March, so it included March when the price increase started. In the first 2 weeks of March, we actually didn't have any in-person lunches, so that's even with those 2 weeks out. And then for April, there's 203 lunches that were served, so it's actually doing very well. The frozen meal delivery program, the second phase of the increased pricing went into effect April 1st, so now we're at the $8 mark from $5.25, and there's a little bit of a decrease, but it's hard to tell because it fluctuates. One of the people, one of our clients that orders a bigger amount of the meals isn't getting orders right now or taking orders. She's not receiving food right now, so that's like a natural kind of decrease. So it's hard to tell, but I have those summaries for the quarters here also, and then the colored paper. It was in the packet, but it's easier to see in color. Annie had suggested going back to see if there's comparing it to past years, and at the bottom is the total of all the meals combined. So there's a little bit of a decrease, but again, it's really hard to tell because there's just a normal fluctuation. So we'll have to wait another month or so and see. We are looking into the tower since there is an interest that's continued. We're waiting to see if with the $8 increase if there still is an interest in frozen meals, and since there is, the towers we've talked to in the past, and they have a similar frozen meal program that we may be able to use instead of Mosaic, because Mosaic in their plans, they're planning to increase it again to $10 starting in July 1st. So just preliminary talking to the towers, there seems to be a possibility of keeping it around 8 if we possibly right now we offer a dessert, fruit, and a roll. So if we kind of back off on some of those, we may be able to keep it at 8. So hopefully we'll be talking to them in the next week or two to try to work that
Yes,
out.
it would be better to pick up in New Haven than in Bridgewater.
Okay, that's that. And then for transportation, then the 167, that's the one that had needed the auto body work since September of last year. And next week it's supposed to go in to finally get repaired. The parts
We're
are,
not taking bets.
stay tuned for the next meeting. And then the other van that needs the battery shut-off switch, the town mechanic was hoping to get to that, but he has all of the lawn equipment and everything that he has to get ready and fixed for the spring. So he's still hoping to do it in the very near future. And then I just wanted to mention on the stat sheet, on the attendance sheet, that Coffee and Social, if you look for April, has 48 people. So it's really popular, the coffee station. People come in, they get coffee. There's people who come in to practice mahjong who are learning, a group, and they come in and they have coffee, and just groups similar to that. They just come in together and sit and have coffee, and so that's working out really well. And then also just to point out for pickleball, the number's down because they're playing outside more now, and the gym's going to be renovated, so nobody will be playing inside. So if you see the total number go down, that's why.
Believe me, they're not stopping.
Oh, no, there's many people out there.
I'm not inside.
Yes, outside.
But we only count the inside people.
Right now, we so with the Schedules Plus software, they're upstairs in the gym, and it's hard for them to come down, to get them to come down. We're working so that they can do it on their phone, but there's not an easy app to use, so they have to log into the website, and so we're trying to work on that so that we can capture that number. Outside is even harder because they're outside. Right now, they sign in on a sheet, which we can at least get the count.
Right.
So
Very
Thank you.
popular.
it's very popular.
Yes, it is.
Any questions?
It's a lovely group of people too.
It's a very passionate group of people.
Yes. There are some opinions in the group. Okay, any other questions for Christie? All right, who would like to make a motion to
Make a
accept?
motion to
Thank you. Accept the sender report, and we need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Jen and Viviana, and all in agreement?
All right.
Passed. Okay. All right, on to Jeanette for Human Services.
I'm sorry, who made that motion?
Jen and Viviana.
Thank you. Okay, so the center gym renovation, just touch on this briefly, the date for the start of the remediation is, or construction is May 8th. We have this is this Wednesday, we have a referendum tomorrow in the gym, and if it passes, then the gym will get the project started the next day. If it fails, they'll have to find another location for a new, for another referendum, and the gym project starts on Wednesday. We're starting this. We have a deadline of the presidential election, so it needs to be done, and they're saying right now if they start in mid-May now that they will be done by September 29th, I believe. So we're in good shape.
Gives them an extra month.
Yeah, there's an extra month, and there is contingency of a fine if they're not completed of quite a bit of money each day. So they have incentive to complete. And we'll hope, even though it's an old building, it's a pretty straightforward project, so we'll hope that it just goes easily. And as for the Center Building Renovation Committee, we're meeting tomorrow, and we'll get updated by the chair. He has thought that we'd be able to present one more time to the boards of finance and selectmen. As far as I know, that presentation has not been scheduled, and I'm not sure there's an appetite at this point for this project, so stay tuned. We'll let you know. And just with our programs, VITA finally ended, although there was a call today for someone who desperately needed her extension done, and according to Ellen, there are several people who are in that same boat, so the VITA volunteers are likely to come back one more time for those who were, for whatever reason, unwell or unable to complete by mid-April. And these volunteers are so fantastic. They put together, there were 3.5 of them. You know, some days there were 4, some days there were 3, and they were able to do 183 tax returns in just a short amount of time. We started in early February and went to mid-April. And Ellen was incredible, again, organizing people and making sure they had everything they were supposed to have. The 34th Annual Volunteer Appreciation Event is scheduled for May 15th. I hope you've all seen your invitations. If you could let Ellen know if you plan to attend, that would be terrific. We can plan the cookies that way. And also the certificates. We are now finished with our vaccine clinics. We did more this year than in any previous year, and in fact, you know, most years combined, no, that's not true, because with COVID we did a lot, but shingles, RSV, pneumovax, flu and COVID, we were able to, 633 vaccines given out since late September. And everybody who's been receiving them here has been very grateful for the convenience, and you know, and the ease at which you make an appointment and just come in to, you know, 2-minute wait to fill out your form and get your vaccine. So it's been very good. Human Services also participated in the Earth Day event, which was fun. I have to admit that finding out on Wednesday before the event that I was a team leader was surprising, but it was really a minimal job and a lot of fun. So tag sale went well, and it was just a great time. And you know, the only thing I would recommend to them is to have sort of bigger maps to read where everything is. On my phone, you know, or even on the printout that I had, it is just, you know, impossible for me to read. And so either, you know, QR codes where you could just go around and say, oh, what's in this area, and you could just find out a list of things, something. But it was great and a lot of fun. And as an aside, there was a woman had a tag sale who didn't want to take anything home, and she donated. Lovely lady. She donated quite a few really nice things for the Living Treasure auction. So
Nice.
up in my office now, and so we're ahead of the game already. One of them is a brand new Weber inbox. It's a nice raffle prize. So moving on, and thank you to Christy for organizing the tag sale. All I did was actually stand there and tell people where their tables were. Memorial Day, if you want to put that on your calendar, town will commemorate with a ceremony at 11 a.m. At the monument in front of this building. And Dr. Josephs will coordinate again, and Boy Scouts, Honor Guard, and police. It should be a nice event. Always is. If it rains, it'll be down here in the center because we don't have the gym at that time. Did I say? It's the 27th, May 27th. And I had been promising that Katie and Karen would come up to get their training, CPR, AED, and first aid, and Christy made that happen. So they each took an individual training. I alluded in my report that AMR did not do the training. I had thought that we were gonna coordinate again with AMR, and it just, you know, it was since January that we were working on trying to get back and forth with each other. So they went to the American Red Cross and down in Milford, and they each got an individualized training, well, with a group, but
Yeah.
in-person training, and they're up to date now, so that's great. Stop and Shop Blooming for Good has chosen us once again. If you are buying flowers for someone, you might as well stop at Stop and Shop in Ansonia. We get $1 for every $10.99 bunch of flowers. This has amounted over the last, 4 or 5 months to, several $100s. So it's just, for the Resident Assistance Fund, it's just nice, free money, and we don't have to work for it. The UELP intern from Amity came by today. Her name is Amani Scree, and she is going to start next Monday. She's a senior, and she's interested in healthcare, so this is sort of a nice fit for her to be able to get some experience interacting with clients, with residents, and see what that interface is like, and so we're happy about that. Nancy already told you about Drug Take Back Day, so I'm not going to go there. Living Treasure, so you've each gotten one of the program books. There's lots of ads in those, so you can see what they look like. They tend to, where they're from. We really do hope that each member of the commission can bring, 5 ads. We really do prefer the ads to the silent auction items. Silent auction items, we have to build them, we have to hope that they sell, but the ads, money comes in with them, and even though most of the time I have to end up doing some editing with them, they do help us raise a lot of funds. So
So the preference is an ad, and for someone walking in, taking a business card is help to you?
well, so yes, I can. It's easier if they have a web page or something that they can give you either their logo and but if it's in good shape and it's not bent and written on, yes, I can use a business card.
Does it work better for the quarter page?
Business cards do work better for a quarter page, but if they want to say something like congratulations to the winners, or they want to say something else, or make a coupon or anything like that, I'm happy to do that work. We do ask for $15 for any kind of design that I have to do. We don't generally collect that. We generally just collect the cost of the ad. I'm happy to do the work. It just takes a lot to do everybody's,
Right.
So we aim for camera-ready art.
Are they, can the commission members take the program with them? I find it's very helpful to have the program.
Yes, they're for you guys. I have plenty.
Yes, when you go into a business.
I have plenty. I collected them last year. Yes. I know Arnie specifically said that he was going to go to the Toll Brothers. He's bought one of those condos, and he was going to go and ask for a color ad from them.
We bought one down there? Oh, good for him.
He moved in.
So are we gonna do color this year, or are you sticking
So
with last
yes, if you look at the form, last year, since we had to pay for the book instead of getting it donated, in addition to the inside cover, the back cover, and the inside of the back cover, we did a center section of 4 pages that were color ads. We added 4 more color ads, and since we as long as we go in increments of 4, we can add more. So color is available.
Were you gonna mention?
Yes. So often when you go to sell one of these things, they say, now what is this event? And you say, here, save the date, but it doesn't say anything about it.
Right.
So it was suggested that a blurb about the event, what it is, what it does, is on the back now. So you can say, oh, read all about it. It's, you know, great community building, but it also serves as a fundraiser. So that's nice, and it really does help this place. So what else? We did change, you'll notice on the save the date, we did change the price per person, up $5. The price went up last year, but we kept it the same. The price of the food went up last year. We kept it the same. We don't know if the food is going up this year. We haven't set that yet. The committee hasn't even met. But to acknowledge last year's increase, we've gone up by $5. It's still a pretty reasonable price for a delicious dinner and a whole event and fundraising. So, you know, try and keep it affordable. Is there anything else about that?
I might add one thing, having gone, you know, to ask for, you know, ads or auction items. You're likely not to get it the first time. You'd be very lucky if you get it the first time you walk in. Often the person that you need to talk to isn't there, and maybe you can get their email, and you know, and trying to do it by email, but it usually takes 2 or 3 times before you actually walk away with something.
It may be 10 by the time you get the ad.
Yeah, well, for some people, for some
Restaurant owners.
Yeah, so you're kind of, the first one is just setting the seed, and then going back,
Right.
and give them a chance to think about it. I think that on the form, there's a place for, if you are comfortable putting your contact information, they can call you if you're leaving it, or if you don't want them to call, they can email. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, since, you know, I've been, you know, doing these ads for a couple of years, so,
A lot of years.
yeah, so, well, whatever. So, you know, I certainly, I think I can answer some basic questions if.
And just remember that, you know, these business owners, if they're not your friends, but they get hit up morning, noon, and night for these
Right.
requests. The community is large, and there are a lot of fundraising events, so we are very respectful that they can stretch only so far. And they all want to support, but it's tough. It is tough.
And I had some luck on, I know others did too, in some of the surrounding towns. You know, if you get your haircut outside, you know, somewhere else, or you use, you know, a store, you know, in surrounding towns. You know, I had some businesses that were really happy to advertise in a Woodbridge event.
Nice.
Any questions for Jeanette?
I have a couple more things.
Oh,
Sorry.
keep going.
So on the grants, the ARPA grant, I've been having you hold on for a while. We kind of said last month, we got a somewhat positive response. But turns out we did get the grant, the $31,000 to be used for a new vehicle for the center transportation program. Today, there was email from the State Unit on Aging that the House will be voting either, they're in session through Wednesday night, so at some point in the next couple of days, they'll be voting on House Bill HB 5523, which is going to reduce the allotment of ARPA grants to senior centers throughout the state for those who have not yet signed a contract, which alarmed us a little, because even though we had had a positive response, we do not have a contract sent to us, and we had not signed a contract. So I reached out to Mary Wheelander, our state rep, and she did some quick recon, checked and rechecked and triple checked, she said, and not only are we approved, the allotment, we should be receiving the contract any day, and the allotment is not going to be reduced. So we're in good shape with that, and very excited to know that that's coming.
Yeah, that's great.
And great to have such a responsive state rep to, you know, get back to me with urgency and to do all that checking. I was quite pleased about that. The One of a Kind Foundation grant that we've talked about is installed, so you can have a look.
The button.
The button, the button is installed, so it's a ADA compliant, accessible button for opening the door, because the door was really heavy. It's a little slow. Christy's working on getting it to open faster. I don't know if she knows how.
Claire's a call. Chrissy's encouragement's not going to do it. Although
Although
I will say, if you're in a hurry, don't hit the button if you don't have to. Because it does take a while.
Right, open the door, don't let it fall on you. And just with the NCOA vaccine uptake initiative grant that we got, we finalized the reporting, and that money, we did get $10,000 for providing more than 100 COVID vaccines and more than 100 flu vaccines from the NCOA. We are going to use that money. I've met with Brad and Adam to improve the wayfinding signs at the top of the 2 driveways on either side of the center building, because those signs are virtually falling down. So that's that. Yeah, so we're gonna finish this and then we'll do the executive session after.
Now, does anyone have any questions for Jeanette? Well, thank you. That was quite exciting to hear all these grants coming through, so they're important improvements. Do I have a motion to accept the Human Services
So moved.
report? Pat, second?
I can send
Okay, good. Let's say that down, Lauren. And all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, we are now going to go into executive session. From executive session at 8:12, and I'd like to propose a motion to change the job title of from a part-time clerical program assistant in the Woodbridge Center to center coordinator. Woodbridge Center coordinator. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to change the name from part-time clerical assistant to center coordinator.
I'll second.
Thank you, Viviana. Oh, I did.
Let's
Aaron
change
get
that
in
to
there?
Woodbridge Center.
Woodbridge Center.
Woodbridge Center.
And we probably will call her center coordinator. but-
Woodbridge Center coordinator.
And Erin seconded?
Yep, Aaron got it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved.
Thank you.
And the second motion is a 5% wage increase for the newly named Woodbridge Center coordinator. 5% increase to $21.96 with the raise retroactive to January 2nd, 2024.
So moved.
Pat?
I can second it. Lauren?
Lauren again. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. Any old business? Any new business? Motion to adjourn by raise of hands, moved by acclamation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
14.
Oh, yes, the time. Thank you, 8:14. Very good.